Alright, everybody. It's only like my fourth time trying to do this one. Even though you don't know that, just me know that. But it's been like, it takes too long to try to read all of this. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to show you some things. It's from the NCBI, solar and ultraviolet radiation. I do have to say that the solar and UV radiation were considered by a previous IARC working group in '92. Since that time, new data has become available. These have been incorporated into the monogram and taken into consideration in the present evaluation. I'm going to read this exposure data part. Terrestrial life is dependent on radiant energy from the sun. Solar radiation is a largely optical radiation. Radiant energy within a broad region of the electromagnetic spectrum that includes ultraviolet, UV, visible light, and infrared radiation. Although both shorter wavelength ionizing and longer wavelength microwaves and radio frequency radiation is present, the wavelength of UV radiation, UVR, lies in the range of 100 to 400 nm and is further subdivided into UVA, UVB, and UVC, which UVA is 315 to 400 nm, UVB is 280 to 315 nm, and UVC is 100 to 280 nm. The UV component of terrestrial radiation from the midday sun comprises about 95% of UVA and 5% of UVB. UVC and most of UVB are removed from extraterrestrial radiation by the stratospheric ozone. Approximately 5% of solar terrestrial radiation is UVR, and solar radiation is the major source of human exposure to UVR. Before the beginning of last century, the sun was essentially the only source of UVR, but with the advent of artificial sources, the opportunity for additional exposure has increased. Alright, I'll leave that there in case you want to pause it. Read that part. Takes too long for me to read it. There's this part. And then the method for measuring UVR, source of exposure. Now I am going to read you some of this. I don't know if you want to read that part first. Just takes me way too long. Come up here. Two. Okay. I'm going to read you this part. The amount of solar UVR measured at the Earth's surface depends upon several factors as follows. Time of day. In summer, about 20 to 30% of the total daily amount of UVR is received between 11 and 1300, and 75% between 9 and 1500. Sun time, not local time. Season. Seasonal variation in terrestrial UV irradiance, especially UVB, at the Earth's surface is significant in temperate regions, but much less nearer the equator. Geographic latitude. Annual UVR exposure dose decreases with increasing distance from the equator. Altitude. In general, each 300-meter increases in altitude increases the sun-burning effectiveness of sunlight by about 4%. Clouds. Clouds influence UV ground irradiance through refraction, absorption, and scattering, and may increase or more usually decrease UV ground irradiance. Complete light cloud cover prevents about 50% of UVR energy from reaching the surface of the Earth. Very heavy cloud cover absorbs and can virtually eliminate UVR even in summer. Even with heavy cloud cover, however, the scattered UVR component of sunlight, as opposed to that coming directly from the sun, is seldom less than 10% of that under clear sky. While most clouds block some UV radiation, the degree of protection depends on the type and amount of clouds. Some clouds can actually increase the UV intensity on the ground by refracting, and scattering these sun rays. For example, under some circumstances, haze, cirrus skies, solar zenith angles ranging from 40 to 63 degrees. The solar irradiance at Toowoomba, Australia, probably didn't pronounce that right, was found to be 8% greater than that of an equivalent clear sky. Okay, surface reflection. The contribution of reflected UVR to a person's total UVR exposure varies in importance with several factors. A grass lawn scatters 2 to 5% of incident UVB radiation. Sand reflects about 10 to 15%, so that sitting under an umbrella on the beach can lead to sunburn both from scattered UVB from the sky and reflected UVB from the sand. Fresh snow may reflect up to 85 to 90% of incident UVB radiation, while water, in particular, white foam in the sea, may reflect up to 30%. Ground reflectance is important because... shouldn't have stapled them. Parts of the body that are normally shaded are exposed to reflected radiation. Air pollution, tropospheric ozone, and other pollutants can decrease UVR. Alright, so there's the measurements part of the radiation. I guess I get to hold it right there, and then you could always pause it. I can hold it down here. Personal exposures. I mean, there's a lot to this. It took me, I read for like 30 minutes last time. And then my kids started arguing, and then, yeah. I mean, there is a lot to this. And there's, even tells you the artificial sources. There's a lot. If you go to the NCBI and then put in on Google NCBI, solar and ultraviolet radiation, there's like 52 pages, I believe, that you could read of this. So, yeah, it's not just what I got. There's a lot more. So the evaluation is, there is significant evidence in humans for the carcinogenicity of solar radiation. Solar radiation causes continuous malignant melanoma, squamous cell carcinoma of the skin, and basal cell carcinoma of the skin. A positive association has been observed between exposure to solar radiation and cancers of the lips. Conjunctional squamous cell carcinoma and ocular melanoma, based primarily on the results observed in the concord and the axillary body of the eye. There is significant evidence in humans for the carcinogenicity of the use of UV-emitting tanning devices. UV-emitting tanning devices cause continuous malignant melanoma and occur ocular melanoma observed in the concord and the clary body of the eye. A positive association has been observed between the use of UV-emitting tanning devices and squamous cell carcinoma of the skin. There is significant evidence in humans for the carcinogenicity of welding. Current evidence establishes a causal association for ocular melanoma, although it is not possible without a full review of welding to attribute the occurrence of ocular melanoma to UV radiation specifically. There is significant evidence in experimental animals for the carcinogenicity of solar radiation, broad spectrum UVR, UVA radiation, UVB radiation, and UVC radiation. Solar radiation is carcinogenic to humans, group 1. Use of UV-emitting tanning devices is carcinogenic to humans, group 1. UV radiation, bandwidth 100 to 400 nm, encompassing UVC, UVB, and UVA is carcinogenic to humans. Group 1. And I also read something, I cannot remember the website, about how cigarettes are radioactive. I just thought I'd throw that out there too. So, alright guys, thanks for listening. Have a great day.